see you're packing for college. First off, I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, you made it. My name is Heidi. I'm a student at the University of Pennsylvania, and I was an incoming freshman not once, but twice. I dropped out about a month into my first year, and this is relevant because looking back, I have to say why I had an unsuccessful transition into college was due to poor preparation, and I hope that this video helped somebody not be in the situation that I was in. This video is organized into chapters. I'm not sure if you can see down there. I'm literally just gesturing at my floor right now. I'm gonna cut to the chase, no bullshit. I'm not a big proponent of buying things that you don't need. Hopefully everything on this list is something that you already own, but to make things easier, if you are going to be buying something off of Amazon, I have made a storefront here. Let's steal Bezos's money together. If you use this link, I will get a commission based off of it, just to be fully transparent. And as a bit of a reward, if you stay until the end of this video, I will be sharing with you a free resource that I wish I had when I was first moving in. Okay, enough yapping, let's lock in. First off on the list, dorming. If you have a roommate, communicate with them as early as possible because you might be sharing things between yourself. You're not, chances are, working with a lot of space here, so any of the big appliances and essentials, see if they're going to be bringing them or if you would like to bring them yourself and if you guys can share in that sense. I would also research the shit out of the space that you're going to be living in. I, for this, went to Reddit, dorm tour videos, and my housing assignment page just to get a sense of what space you might be working with. I would check if you have a communal bathroom, decent air conditioning, if you need to bring a box fan or whatnot to compensate, especially during those first few hotter months, unless you're living on the West Coast or somewhere hotter. I don't know. I'm very East Coast centric, if you can't tell. I would also check if you have any provided appliances like a fridge, TV, mirror, or microwave. I had friends who those appliances were graciously provided to them. For me and my roommate, that was not the case, but I think we survived our first year without those appliances perfectly fine. If you are trying to get a microwave or a fridge, I would highly recommend renting because when you're moving out, those can be a pain in the butt to either find people to sell to or move physically. I don't know. Can you move things telepathically? Okay, that was a terrible joke. Moving on. If you are very lucky, you will have overhead lighting in your room. Again, that was not the case with my roommate and I. Chances are you already have a desk lamp. I would bring that. It definitely came in handy when I was doing late night study sessions in my room. One that I had actually had outlets built into the base. That was pretty helpful. Prevented me from having to use an extension cord by my desk. That being said, I would bring at least one extension cord because you're not gonna have an idea really of where the heck your outlets are in your rooms until you get there. If you don't have a mirror provided to you, full-length mirror helped. I also have a small makeup mirror. I would also invest in a large trash can. This is something that I shared with my roommate. You're gonna be busy, you're a college student, taking out the trash so often from a small can if you're provided one. It's not feasible or fun. Get a large trash can. Don't forget trash bags. Now, this next thing is an essential for me. I am an asthmatic, very sensitive one, and I was living in a relatively older dorm building, so things like mold and poor air circulation was kind of not great for my ability to survive. I did bring a big ass air filter, bring a laundry hamper that is easy to carry. I saw some people that have ones that roll, and that's great if you have a accessible and cooperative elevator, which was not the case for me. I did bring one with handles that I could just lift. I saw some people bring backpacks. You can put your laundry detergent in there as well. I think that's pretty handy. If you don't want to buy something, you can also just use a tote bag. I found that I ended up using a giant tote bag that was provided to me at new student orientation more often than not, just to avoid buying another thing. There you go. Obviously that comes with laundry detergent, fabric softener, and dryer sheets. I brought a mini vacuum. I would not recommend a broom just because if you're somebody with long hair like me, that tends to get stuck in the bristles. If you have tiled flooring like I did, I also brought a sponge mop, dish soap, dish sponge, pretty self-explanatory. For when you need to wash your reusable water bottle, or mug. I don't recommend, especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you're on the dining plan, bringing any reusable dishes, plates, or anything like that. I would get a surface cleaner and alcohol wipes. Those came in very handy during move-in when I wanted to disinfect my surfaces and also just keep things tidy throughout the year. Bed sheets. Make sure you get the right size. Chances are you're going to be working with twin XL. Mattress topper if you're fancy. I personally didn't have a mattress topper, but I have friends that swear by theirs, so blanket, duvet, or comforter, pillows, pillowcases, your stuffed animals. You're gonna get lonely. You might be like, oh no, I'm so excited to be away from home, and you know, I was too, but homesickness hits you sometimes. If not, if you're having a crisis in the middle of the night over a midterm, a stuffed animal comes in handy. I wouldn't judge you for bringing one. I brought many. Sentimental decorations. Clearly, you can live without decorations. It's one thing to move in, and it's one thing to really settle in and make the space yours. So I would say for me, decorations was actually essential. What I actually ended up doing was I cut out photos from newspapers that were on campus and I stuck those to my wall. So you might not necessarily have to bring decorations from home if space is a concern for you when you're packing. I brought string lights. They gave me some aesthetic comfort. Along those lines, for securing decorations, I would bring duct tape, command strips. I actually don't recommend poster putty. Those tend to leave residue from what I gather, especially on drywall. That was a lot. Onto personal care. Bring an umbrella. I am not about going out and buying a lot of new things, as I said before, but I'm very glad that I did switch from a normal, regular, beach towel to a bathrobe. You're gonna have to go between communal showers and your room. It's nice to have your hands free to use your key card and your shower caddy. Speaking of which, bring a shower caddy. I have a mesh one. I didn't have any issues with mold, thankfully, because it dried out pretty quickly. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash. If you shave, bring a razor, body scrub, shaving cream. I would bring a hair dryer if you have long hair like I do. Bring your skincare and makeup if that applies. I would also bring deodorant. I brought perfume and breath mints, toothpaste, toothbrush. Do bring scissors. Onto medicine. I personally brought Tylenol and Mucinex. Bring sunscreen and bug spray. Okay, personal belongings. First off, technology. You're a student. Chances are you're gonna need a laptop, your phone, chargers for all your devices, wireless headphones or wired earbuds. My portable charger saved my ass multiple times. Clothing. Generally, it is again hard to predict your exact floor plan. My roommate and I came in thinking we had a full-on walk-in closet. We actually ended up having the smallest room on our floor, which was fun in many ways. Thankfully we got along really well, so that wasn't a problem whatsoever, but in terms of space it kind of was. We both have a big clothing collection, but I'm gonna keep this list to the bare essentials. Bring your standard t-shirts, your shorts or skirts for the summer and hotter weather. For cooler weather, I actually did have to invest in a scarf and gloves. Bring a winter jacket. It was pretty unbearable without those things going in between classes. If you go to an orientation event or things like formals, you're gonna want to dress fancy once in a while, so bring at least one outfit. Jeans, pretty standard, sweatpants, sweatshirt when you're kind of lounging around and being a chud. That was me most of the time. You're a college student. Dress shirt or business casual outfit for interviews. Sacrificial t-shirt. At least at Penn, we were provided a lot of free clothes, so that's not something I necessarily had to pack for. If you're gonna be doing events where you're doing painting or outdoors, you want to get something that you don't really care about so much. I have a ridiculous jewelry collection. I wouldn't go crazy with shoes personally. I have a good pair of sneakers, slides, Crocs. Going into college, did not think I would party whatsoever. I'm still not exactly a party person, but if you want to venture into that space, parties can get pretty messy. The floor, I wouldn't count on it being very clean. I had a pair of sneakers that I sacrificed for the plot. I would also get some going out tops, belts, rain jacket. For making friends your freshman year, I would bring snacks. And if you have card games or, like your standard deck of cards or Uno, Cards Against Humanity, that's great. I bonded with a lot of people over sharing popcorn and my volleyball, which my school's gym overinflated. rest in pieces. School supplies. This is dependent on what classes you take. I personally like writing in notebooks. If you have a tablet, that can definitely save your back from carrying multiple notebooks throughout the year. Check if any of your classes require a graphing calculator. Binder clips came in handy for when I wanted to hang up things on my wall, when I wanted to secure chip bags. My new student orientation did give out a lot of free stationery. If you are a student coming to Penn, first of all, hit me up if you have any questions, but also kind of keep that in mind. You're gonna get a lot of pens and pencils and highlighters and post-its, notepads. Flashcards were surprisingly helpful for my friends. Pens, pencils, permanent markers, dry erase markers, expanding file folder for organizing papers. Bags, I had my backpack. I also ended up using tote bags that were provided to me. I would also bring a small handbag for formal events like I mentioned before. Absolute essentials, your student ID. Don't forget that, please. Wallet with some cash comes in handy if you don't have easy access to any ATMs on campus. And if applicable, a credit card, health insurance card, visa, passport. You want all your papers with you, especially if you're applying to jobs. I needed to go all the way back home in order to get my social security number card when I was doing work study. Sleeping bag. This was something that I brought for my pre-orientation program, which I will be making a video about. It actually came in handy because this one time I had to sleep over at a friend's room. We suspected a mouse was living in our radiator. There wasn't a mouse, we were being a little dramatic. Good memories, so maybe consider bringing a sleeping bag. And yeah, those were all of the things that I could think of that you absolutely need in college. Best wishes to you. It's a really exciting time to be alive. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram. Leave a like if this video helped, and feel free to subscribe. I would appreciate that a lot because it tells me I'm not yapping for no reason. I make vlogs throughout the school year and also occasionally yap. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Ha ha ha.